Hi guys, in this video we'll learn about critical path method using activity on node approach. Generally in software project management, the project development is scheduled from day 1 to day n. Due to some problems, the projects are getting delayed to deliver on time because of existence of the critical activities in the project development. So this critical path method is used to identify the critical activities that are existed in the schedule. What is critical path? A critical path is the sequence of project network activities which add up to the longest overall duration. So that is nothing but this critical path is used to calculate the maximum duration that we can spend on the project. Generally, the project is defined as a problem. This problem is divided into various modules. So here the problem is not implemented as a single entity. That is nothing but the project is not implemented as a single entity. It is divided into various modules, and each module is furtherly divided into submodules. Each submodule is furtherly divided into sub-submodules, and so on until finding the lower level elements, so called objects. For each object we have to schedule, that is the start time of the object and end time of the object. So in the same way, the start time of the parent object and end time of the parent object, the same way start time of the grandparent object and end time of the grandparent object, and so on until project. So bottom up approach. So here we are scheduling all these objects, parent objects, grandparent objects, or objects, submodules, submodules, and final project. So here we are scheduling all these. So all these are what called the project deliverables. Okay, so what is the need to divide the problem into various sub problems called modules, modules and submodules? So in order to reduce the complexity of the problem, we are dividing the problem into various modules, modules and submodules, and so on. This concept is what called modularity. Okay, so while implementation starts from lower level to higher level elements, some of the tasks are getting delayed to implement. That is nothing but to deliver on time due to the existence of the critical activities. So this critical path is used to identify those critical activities, the uses of the critical path. It is useful in scheduling the activities. So that is from top to bottom, from project level to modules, modules to submodules, submodules, sub-submodules, and so on until finding the lower level objects. Okay, effectively scheduling the activities, that is nothing but allotting the start time and end time for all these intermediate project deliverables, then estimates the overall duration of the project. So that is the maximum time that we can use to finish this project. Okay, at the same time, the maximum time for this module, the maximum time for this submodules. Like this way for all internal modules, submodules, sub-submodules until objects. Then to identify the critical activities that are existed in this project development. Okay, so that is nothing but what do you mean critical activity? If a activity takes more than the planned, if it takes more than the planned time, it's what called critical activity, that we are trying to finding using critical path method. Steps in critical path method. The first step, activity planning, that is scheduling the activities, identifying the activities and represent, scheduling the activities. And second step, modeling the network using the identified activities. Next, third step, calculation of the critical path using two techniques, forward pass and backward pass. We'll see one by one in detail. Activity planning, first step. Active planning. So in order to plan the activities, we'll use Gantt charts. The uses of the Gantt charts is Gantt chart represents like a graph or bar chart. So here we have various activities called object, parent object, grandparent object, great grandparent object until finding the top level project element. So here we have to schedule all this. So every object, parent object, grandparent object is scheduled. Okay, that is represented in terms of bar. Bar represents the time for each task. So that is at what time we have to start the particular task and at what time we have to finish. Okay, that we are representing in terms of bars. Bars also indicate status of the task. That is what is the start time of the task or object, what is the end time of that task, that is the planned time, and what is the current status, that is the progress of the task or object, that we are representing in terms of bars in Gantt chart. Gantt chart provides visual display of project schedule, the whole project. What is a project? Is here project is having modules, modules are having submodules, and so on. Project objects. Okay, all these objects, parent objects, grandparent objects, and so on, all are represented in terms of Gantt chart. That is scheduled for every object, parent object, grandparent object, great grandparent object, and so on. And the slack time. So, what do you mean slack time? The maximum time that we can wait. So, due to some problem, if any activity is delayed to finish, if any other activity is depending on that previous activity, so this current activity has to wait until the previous activity completes. Okay, so how much time this next activity has to wait, that is what called slack time, the amount of time an activity can be delayed without delaying the project. Okay, so without delaying the project, if you want to deliver by the given deadline, okay, we have to estimate the start time and end time for all the objects, parent objects, grandparent objects, and so on. Okay, that slack time, that is a maximum waiting period for all the internal project deliverables, objects, parent objects, grandparent objects, great grandparent objects. So for better understanding, say one example, Gantt chart for the house construction project. So these are the various activities are identified in this house construction project, and this x-axis having the timeline from 0 to 10th month. The first activity, design house and obtain financing. Activity starts from day one, ends at third month. Okay, it requires 3 months time. Then second activity, lay foundation, starts at third month, ends at fifth month. So if you see here, this activity starts after first activity only. There is existent dependency is existed between these two, so it starts after this only. Okay, then order and receive materials, it is also starts from third month, ends at fourth month. So if you see here, these two are starts on the same day, so we can call them as parallel activities. Okay, if you see, these two activities are depending on first activity. So when this activity starts, whenever the first activity is completed. Okay, then the fourth activity, build house, starts at fifth month, ends at eighth month. So here if you see, it depends on second activity, lay foundation, when it starts, whenever the second activity is finished. Then fifth activity, select paint, it also starts from fifth month, ends at sixth month. So if you see, these 4 and 5 are starts on the same day, so we can say these are called parallel activities, and these two are depending on second activity, lay foundation. These two are starts after second activity completion only. Then select carpet, starts at sixth month, ends at seventh month. Finish work, starts at eighth month, ends at ninth month. So here we have two sets of parallel activities, activity 2 and activity 3, activity 4 and activity 5. Okay, and these are depending on first activity, these are depending on second activity. So we can call them as critical activities, but we don't know whether it is actually critical activities or not. We have to find whether they are critical or not, because dependencies existed among this combination and this combination. We need to find whether these are critical activities or not, that we are finding in coming slides. The second step is network modeling and parameter computation. So node configuration and parameter calculation. So particularly in this video, we are using activity on node approach. So in this case, the activity is represented on node. Activity is represented on node. Nodes represent activities. Okay. Arrow shows the precedence relationships among all the activities. Okay, so now we'll see the node configuration. Every node is having a 6 parameter. The central portion contains activity name. The first parameter is early start, the start time of the activity, and early finish. That is, if the activity starts by this time, it has to finish by this time. Then latest start. If the activity not started by this time, the maximum waiting period for this activity is this ls. Okay, by this time it has to start. If it starts by this time, it has to finish by this time. Latest finish. And duration, the maximum time for this activity. And float. So float is nothing but the differentiation between either this combination or this combination, the differentiation between es and ls or ef and lf. Okay, we'll see that formula. Okay, earliest start, that is for all the activities. Earliest finish, how will you calculate earliest finish? Earliest start of the activity plus duration of the activity. Then latest finish, how will you calculate the latest finish? Latest task can be completed without affecting project, and that is a last activity to first activity. Latest start, how will you calculate latest start? Latest finish of the activity minus duration. Okay, float, the float is the combination of this difference es and ls, or this difference ef and lf. In detail we will learn here. Okay, now network model construction procedure. How to construct a network model for the given activities? The first step is start with the first activity and represent as node if it is not having any precedence. Okay, so start with the first activity and represent as node if it is not having any precedent. Okay, then repeat until all activities are represented. Take the next activity. After first activity, take the next activity and check whether it is having precedence or not. Okay, for next activity we have to check whether it is having precedence or not. If it is having precedent, if so, represent the activity after representing the precedent activity only. Otherwise, represent as a parallel start nodes. Okay, with the first node, first activity. Okay, so for the next activity only, we have to check also whether it is a precedent for any other activities. Here we are checking whether it is having precedence. Here we are checking whether it is a precedent for any other. Okay, if so, check whether it is ending alone or ending with any other activity. Okay, if it is a precedent for any other activity, we need to check whether it is ending alone or ending with any other activity. If it ends combinedly, make sure that both the activities should end at one node. Okay, then calculating the earliest start and earliest finish dates. Earliest start date of the start activities is 0. By default, for the start activities, the earliest start is the 0. Then earliest start date for the current activity. What do you mean current activity? Other than the first activity. Okay, other than the first or start activity called current activity. So earliest start date of the for the current activity is the earliest finish date of the previous activity. Earliest finish of the previous activity. If more than one previous activity is present, so when we are finding the earliest start date for current activity, if more than one previous activity is present, then take the latest earliest finish. Okay, so what do you mean this latest earliest finish? We'll see. So I have previous activity P1. Okay, and it is having earliest finish day 7. It ends at day 7. Another previous activity P2 ends at day 10. Its earliest finish is day 10. So these two are pointing current activity. So I need to find the early start for current activity. Early start for current activity. So this for this current activity having more than one previous activity. So what we have to take latest earliest finish. So which one is finished latest day 10. So that is for current activity earliest start is the day 10. Okay, so this is the current activity and these are the previous activities. Like this way we have to calculate early start and earliest finish dates for all the activities. Next, latest start and latest finish dates. Okay, in the network these are calculated from back from right to left using backward pass. Okay, it starts from the last activity. Latest finish of last activity is by default. Latest finish of last activity is the earliest finish of the same activity for the last activity only. Latest finish of the current activity. Latest finish of the current. What do you mean current activity in this case? Other than last activity. Other than last activity. If n is the last activity, what do you mean current activity? N minus 1 is the current activity. So latest finish of the current activity is the latest start of the following activity. Latest start of the following activity. While calculating latest finish for current activity, if it is having more than one following activities, it is having more than one following activities, then take the earliest latest start. Latest start of the current activity is calculated latest finish of the activity minus duration. Latest finish of the activity minus duration will give latest start of the all the activities. Okay, now we'll see a problem. An example project specification with estimated activity duration and precedent requirements. So here we are given a list of activities from A to H and its duration in terms of weeks and precedence. So if you see here A, the start activity A is not having any precedent. We can represent directly because it is not having precedent. Then B is also not having precedent. So we can start parallelly. So A and B are parallelly started. Okay, same way you have to check whether any activity is not having a precedence. So here f is also not having any precedent, so we can represent A, B and F are start activities. Okay, then C. So when C will start after A. Okay, in the same way we have to check whether C is a president for any other activity. Yes, C is the president activity for H. Okay, while representing C, we need to ensure that C and D are ending at one node. Okay, because C is not ending alone, it is ending with D. Okay, then D. So now the next activity is D. D starts after B, and D is the president for H. So we need to ensure that C and D should end at one node. Okay. Next E. So E starts after B, but it is a president for G. E is not ending alone, it is ending with F. So we need to ensure both should end at one node. Then F. So F already represented G. So when G will start, when E and F are completed. Okay, so this combination is required to start G, this combination is required to start H. We'll see there are the various activities A, B, F. These are the start activities because these are not having any precedents. C starts after A, D starts after B, E starts after B. Okay, G starts after E and F, H starts after C and D. So we need to establish that links between all these activities. Okay, so A, B, F are the start activities because they are not having any precedents. Okay, C starts after A, D starts after B. Okay, E starts after B, but ends along with F. Okay, so this combination is required. E starts after B. Okay, F already started. G starts after E and F. Okay, this combination is required. Then H starts after C and D. So this combination. So these are two end activities. These three are parallel start activities. These are three current activities. Now we'll calculate the remaining parameters. Okay, to calculate the remaining parameters, we need to represent the duration of all the activities. Okay, A has 6 weeks, B has 4 weeks, C has F has 10 weeks, C has 3 weeks, D has 4 weeks, E has 3 weeks, H has 2 weeks, G has 3 weeks. Now we need to calculate the remaining parameters ES, EF, LS, LF and float. So while calculating a early start and earliest finish, we have to use forward pass, that is from left to right, start to finish. Okay, so by default for start activities the early start is 0 because these are not having any precedence. So by default the early start for all these start activities is 0. Okay, now how will you calculate ef es plus duration of the activity? 0 plus 6, how much? 6. 0 plus 4, how much? 4. 0 plus 10, 10. Okay, now earliest start of the current activity. How will you calculate earliest finish of the previous? What is the previous activity for C? A. What is its earliest finish? 6. That is copied here. Okay, next D. So what is the earliest start for D? The earliest finish of its previous. What is its previous? B. What is its earliest finish? 4. That is copied here. Next E. So here early start of E is earliest finish of its previous. What is its previous? B. What is its value? 4. That is copied here. Now take the this. Okay, we need to calculate earliest finish of this current activities. How will you calculate earliest start plus duration? 6 plus 3, how much? 9. 4 plus 4, 8. 4 plus 3, 7. Okay, now we have to calculate for end activities, early start. So how will you calculate early start for this? The previous activity earliest finish. So here if you see it is having two previous activities. One is C and the other one is a D. So how will you take the latest earliest finish? What is the latest earliest finish? 9. Okay, and G is also having two previous activities. One is Z and another one is F. So what is the earliest start of the G? Latest earliest finish of these two. What is the latest earliest finish? 10. Okay, then earliest finish of these end activities. So I will calculate early start plus duration. 9 plus 2, 11, and 10 plus 3, 13. So like this way we have to calculate early start and earliest finish for all the activities using forward pass, that is from left to right. So what we have done up to now, that is listed here, earliest start and earliest finish calculations. Next we need to calculate latest start and latest finish of all the activities using backward pass, that is from uh, right to left. Okay, now here we have two end activities. What are the two end activities? H and G. So here what is the latest finish for end activities? Earliest finish of the same activity. So here we are having two end activities. The earliest finish for H is 11. This would be the latest finish and this would be the latest finish, but we have to take the maximum. What is the maximum? 13. So both are having latest finish is 13 maximum. Next we have to calculate latest start for this end activities. How will you calculate LF minus duration? LF minus duration. 13 minus 2, 11. 13 minus 3, 10. Okay, next we have to calculate for the current activities. So how will you calculate for the current activities? Okay, so for this activity, what is its LF? The following activity LS would be the LF. Okay, that is so what is its following H? Okay, so next for this E, what is its following G? What is its LS? That would be copied here. Next we have to calculate LS for this. How will you calculate LF minus duration? 11 minus 3. Okay, 11 minus 4. 10 minus 7. Okay, now for start activities we have to calculate LF. How will you calculate the LS of the following? How many following? Only one. So this would be the LF for A. Okay, if you see here it is having two following activities. Okay, so what we have to take earliest latest finish. So both are having the same value, so no issue, directly we can represent 7. Okay, next for this, so what is its following only one, that is G. So what is its value? 10. Okay, next LS. How will you calculate as LS? LF minus duration. 8 minus 6, how much? 2. 7 minus 4, 3. 10 minus 10, 0. Okay, like this way we have to calculate LS and LF from right to left using backward pass for all the activities. Okay, so the steps are represented in this slide. Okay, now we have to calculate float. So how will you calculate float? The differentiation of either combination of either this or this. Okay, ls minus es or lf minus ef. Okay, 2 minus 0. How much? 8 minus 6. Any combination you can take. 3 minus 0 or 7 minus 4. Okay, 0 minus 0 or 10 minus 10. 0. 8 minus 6 or 11 minus 9. Okay, 7 minus 4, 11 minus 8. Okay, 7 minus 4, 10 minus 7. 11, 11 minus 9, 13 minus 11. 10 minus 10, 13 minus 13. Okay, 0. Okay, now the network is ready to calculate critical path. Okay, so how will you calculate critical path? Finding critical path, join the nodes which are having zero float. So what are the nodes are having zero float? F and G. These two are critical path. Okay, that this is the critical path. F and G is the critical path. Now we have to list all these values in a table. Okay, list all the values in table. Activities, duration, early start, earliest finish, latest start, latest finish, and float. So A can wait up to 2 weeks, B can wait up to 3 weeks, C can wait up to 2 weeks, D can wait up to 3 weeks, E can wait up to 3 weeks, F and G cannot wait. So these are critical activities. H can wait up to 2 weeks. So what is the critical path? F and G. What are the critical activities? F and G. So what do you mean these critical activities? We need to pay more attention on these activities. Okay, pay more attention on these two activities and start these activities immediately when the project commences. Okay, we have two critical activities in this problem, that is F and G. Okay, pay more attention on these two activities and finish the project at earliest time. Thank you.